Alright, this is the second part of a video on Chapter 2, Lesson 1 from California Math, your Common Core edition by McGraw-Hill. They talk about going from decimals to fractions and fractions to decimals. In the first video, I showed you how to go from a decimal to a fraction, and now I'm going to show you how to go from a fraction to a decimal. So let's go ahead and write each fraction as a decimal. So I have 3 fractions here. And these problems do get progressively harder as we go along, and it's for different reasons. So let's just look at this first one. It's 72 over 100. Now if I read that out using these terms, that's 72 hundredths. So I can convert this easily to a decimal as 0.72. Now what was really useful was the fact that my denominator was 100. If my denominator, say, was a 10, I could have done the same thing. So another quick side example. If I had 3 over 10, that is 3 tenths. So that was quick. 3 tenths is 0.3. If I had, say, 3 over 1,000, that'd be 3 thousandths. And so that was also fairly quick. So in situations like this, where your denominator is, say, a 10 or 100 or 1,000, then I can use these place values to convert quite quickly to a decimal from a fraction. And so we want to keep that in mind. I want to use this fact to my advantage. So let's move on to part B. Here I have 9 over 25. And unfortunately 25 is not 10, it's not 100, it's not 1,000. So I can't do the same thing as what I did before in A. But if I'm pretty comfortable with equivalent fractions, then I realize that while 9 over 25 isn't this convenient form, I could take 25, multiply it by 4, and then get a denominator of 100. So we're being kind of clever. We're saying, all right, I didn't have one of these nice friendly denominators like 10, 100, or 1,000 that allows for the easy conversion from a fraction to a decimal. So I use my knowledge of equivalent fractions to go ahead and put me into a nice position. I take my 9 over 25, multiply both numerator and denominator by 4, and now I'm there. 9 times 4 is 36, 25 times 4 is 100, and that goes to 0.36, so 36 hundredths. So other denominators that are okay are, say I had 9 over 50. That would work out pretty well too, because I can multiply top and bottom by 2 to convert my denominator to 100. So now let's look at 7 over 8. Now if we're optimistic, we'd hope that 8 would, say, divide evenly to 10, or 8 would divide evenly into 100. 8 does not divide evenly into 10. 8 does not divide evenly into 100. So we're going to use a different strategy here. The strategy in this case will just be to go ahead and compute, do the long division. Go ahead and compute how many times 8 goes into 7. But I'm not allowed to use, say 8 goes into 7 0 times with the remainder of 7. That's not what we're looking for. We're actually looking for 8 into 7 as a decimal, expressing that answer as a decimal. So we start off, let's divide 8 into 7. 8 goes into 7 0 times. So then we add. We add a little dot here. We add a 0 after that dot. Now I'm calling this a dot and not a decimal point because it's more a visual cue to put a decimal point directly above. So I'm now thinking of 8 into 70. And that's why I call this dot a visual cue. We're not doing 8 into 7.0. Because this number, if I were to cover everything up on the board, that's the number 7.0. So this is just more of a visual to put this decimal point up top and then divide 8 into 70. So 8 goes into 70 8 times. 8 times 8 is 64. 70 minus 64 is 6. And then we do this round of bringing down the next 0. So I'll add a 0 and bring that 0 down and continue my division. 8 goes into 60 7 times. It's all right if you're not seeing these numbers quite as fast as I am. You want to be comfortable with your multiplication tables. 60 minus 56 is 4. I haven't got a 0 down here yet, so I need to repeat the process. I'll bring down another 0. All right, so 8, how many times does 8 go into 40? 8 goes into 45 times, so 5 times 8 is 40. And now I've finally got my 0 there, so that's the sign that I can stop this process. This decimal up top is your 7 over 8 as a decimal. So 0.875. Now maybe you were even more clever than this, and you notice that while 8 doesn't go into 10, and 8 doesn't go into 100, 8 does go into 1,000. So it turns out that you could use the same method that was used on parts A and B of rewriting this fraction 7 over 8 as an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 1,000. I did it this way with the long division because it didn't jump out to me that 8 divided evenly into 1,000. I checked 8 into 10, no. 8 into 100, no. So then I went to the long division. But perhaps you're maybe a little bit better with multiplication tables, and you know that if you take 8 and multiply it by 125, that will give you a denominator of 1,000. So if you multiply our denominator by 125, we do the same to the numerator. And you could work it out off to the side. 7 times 125 does turn out to be 875. This is 875 thousandths, so 0.875. So this, what I've done down here is solve the problem in a way similar to A and B. I didn't jump right into doing this just because it wasn't obvious to me that 8 divided evenly into 1,000. So that's why I did it the long division way. Okay, so that's good for example 1. Let's do one more example. And in the second example, we're going to write a mixed number as a decimal. So write 5 and 3 over 40 as a decimal. So the difference here is I've added this 5. I've added a whole number part as well as the fractional part. That really doesn't make too much of a difference. I'll have to keep track of the 5, the whole number part, but most of the work is going to be in converting the 3 over 40 to a decimal. So let's start there, 3 over 40. I run through, does 40 go into 100? No. I could try 40 into 1,000, maybe that works, maybe it doesn't. I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the long division. So 40 into 3. Now when I go through these long division computations, I always had the experience of watching someone else do long division was always a bit confusing just because numbers are kind of flying around. So you might want to try and do this long division on your own first before just watching me do it. So 40 does not go into 3. So I add my dot, I add my decimal point and some zeros, 0 here. 40 doesn't go into 30, so I add a 0. 40 into 300 7 times. 7 times 40 is 280. Do my subtraction. Bring down a new 0. $40 goes into 200 5 times. 5 times 40 is 200. And now I have my remainder of 0, so I can stop that computation. And what it tells me is that 3 over 40 as a decimal is 0.075. So if I were to write 5 and 3/40 as a decimal, I would have 5. Here's my whole number part, the 5, staying to the left of the decimal, and then my decimal part, 0.075. So here's my 3/40 sitting right here, and there's my 5 sitting right here. Good.